Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And down south in San Diego is my good friend, my co-host, and we're short a co-host right now, but he's going to come in later. But right now we got Dennis Bithoulkas. What's up, Dennis?
Nothing much. I'm only here in avatar form at the moment.
Yes, your avatar looks amazingly like you.
It is. It's very. I spend a lot of money on it.
There we go.
I spend a lot of Patreon money on it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That's funny. No, we haven't even taken that money out. So speaking of which, tracking numbers finally coming out. It took me so long to pack up that stuff. So hello, everybody. How you doing? We're here to talk about Ready Player One. Jay Trussell from Film Zen will be joining us in a moment once I get a chance to get his email and invite him in. I am very surprised that I like this movie. I just thought it was, I thought it would be okay, but I actually loved it. I saw it last night and with the family and had a great time, man. What about you, Jay? Jay, did I just say Jay? God,
you said Jay.
Yeah, whatever. Go on.
That's fine. Dennis, yeah, that's my name. Say my name.
Say my name. Say my name.
I actually I read the book though, so I knew what I was getting into coming into this. And I know John had read the book as well, and we were both telling you about it, and you're like, I was not going to see it. And I remember, and so it was kind of funny that you did go and see it and liked it. So I knew you would, but I kind of had that feeling. And no, I liked it too. I mean, there's some things that we're going to get into a little bit here that I didn't like, but overall, I thought the movie was actually the best Spielberg movie that he's done in a long time. It's the best Spielberg movie that's Spielberg doing Spielberg.
Yeah, it is. I think. Sorry, I got to type in Jay's email address while I'm talking here. So forgive me, I can't do two things at once because it's not copying and pasting.
I can talk while you're doing that.
But give me just a second here.
Yeah, sure. So I actually saw this on. I had Friday off, so I saw this on Thursday because I got let go a little early. We got released early, and. So it was kind of cool. So I was able to actually go and see it. And like I said, I went and saw it it's kind of funny watching a nostalgia movie, a movie about nostalgia in a older theater, like kind of like a 90s plex, if you will, 80s, 90s plex, multiplex, but kind of run down a little bit because there's one right near me. So it had that kind of feel of like going to the movie in the 80s to a multiplex and watching a movie based on the 80s. It was kind of funny.
That was nice. And you didn't mean to do that, but that's cool. And there's a lot of stuff like that down at El Cajon. That's cool. Yeah. I saw it in our little in the Empire Cinemas, that West.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Down in West Portal.
I love, little family owned place. And it's really cool. And there's still a couple of people who work there who used to shop at my store. So, and I love that neighborhood. But yeah, this part of what I loved about it, it's a movie about Easter eggs, right? But the nostalgia, I thought I love nostalgia too, but I thought it would be too much. I thought it would be like watching a video game. That's what even some of the reviewers are saying. And as somebody who doesn't game at all, I didn't feel that way at all. I thought it was, even the CGI of it was explained. It's not supposed to look perfect, right? So
yeah,
and it didn't make the mistake that like Matrix 3 did, because this movie to me was like this generation's Roger Rabbit in a way.
Yeah, kind of
with the Matrix and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. With all these characters that I'm not a gamer, so I had Logan there identifying people for me. I saw Master Chief, but I don't know much beyond that. And that was especially that battle scene, with to We're Not Going to Take It by Twisted Sister. That was fucking awesome. So yeah, the beginning of the movie for me, I thought it was, I don't know, I wasn't totally into it at first with the whole Kong battle thing, and I was like, if it's going to be like this, because it felt like kind of like we were talking in the pre-production meeting, like, is this just going to be kind of, no stakes and we're just going to have a lot of messy chasing? Kind of a lot, the criticism of Tintin was it was just too much, running around and chasing. But no, it had a lot of heart. I love the characters in it. and the themes in it. I thought it was really cool. And I know you're going to talk about the differences from the book, which I have no idea about. But yeah, I mean, maybe you could talk about,
Yeah, it was Disney-fied just a little bit because I think they needed to do that in order to use some of Disney's characters that they needed to use in there, specifically the Star Wars stuff and some of the other stuff that Spielberg has worked on for Disney, because it is a Warner Brothers movie. But in order to get a PG-13, they needed to kind of tone down some of the stuff in there. And by the way, those of you watching, if you haven't seen the movie yet, we are going to spoil some stuff. So, player be warned. That's all I'm going to say. And
yeah, I probably should have mentioned that in the beginning. And hello, everybody in the chat. This is an interactive live podcast, and this is what we do here.
Yeah,
we do most everything live. And here comes Jay.
Jay, what's going on?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing all right. You?
Doing good.
Excellent.
Looks like I got the Close Encounters mothership behind me. Hold on for a minute.
That's all right. So we got the usual suspects. Oh my God, Gary Prime.
Yeah, that's Apple Crow's new name is Gary Prime.
Oh no! Why would you do that to yourself, man?
There we go.
Making me.
All right,
dude.
So I can barely hear you guys. Hold on.
Get some headphones in, man. You need headphoons.
I can hear you crystal clear now. I'm in my studio.
You go. There you go.
It's the iPad's fault.
See, that's your first mistake. You use the iPad.
There you go.
No Apple jokes. I'm a Mac guy. I'm bilingual. I use both. So
there you go. So you saw Ready Player One, Jay. What'd you think?
Jay is ready to go talk about Ready Player One.
Right on.
No, it was nice. I mean, it was nostalgic. It was very nice to know that Spielberg still has it. Isn't it nice?
Yeah, it was great to see our old Spielberg back. And Jay, this is an argument I've had. I've always thought Kate Capshaw killed it for him. And he used to be one of the nerds. He used to be one of us. And then he got, remember, like he would not get Academy Awards. He would get snubbed all the time at the Academy Awards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they were always down on his filmmaking because they knew he's simply the greatest director who's ever lived, period.
Absolutely.
End of story. And like this solidified it for me because he came back to us at least one more time. The man's in his 70s.
Yes,
and
he just
hard to believe.
71, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And like he you think he would be completely out of touch, and yes, I'm sure he had an army of people like the guy in the movie, giving him all this. But I wasn't sure he was the right guy for this movie. I was like, I don't know. And then he talked about how he was going to downplay his own stuff, which he pretty much did.
Yeah.
But there was still enough in there. Disney, there wasn't any Disney stuff though. There was like little hints of it, but I don't know if Disney didn't want to play ball.
No, it's in the background. It's they did so he basically the mentioning of the Millennium Falcon. There is an X-wing in there. There's R2D2 in there. It's buried in the background. It's really hard to find. And I'm going to actually touch on something in the chat here too. They were talking about Ray Rain was saying I love Van Halen, but I was not impressed with the opening song Jump. It sounded soft for a reason. And then they were also talking about maybe using some metal songs, maybe Ballroom Blitz. Actually, in the book, they used Rush because Rush was supposed to be Halliday's favorite band. And actually, one of the final clues is in a Rush song where Parsifal needs to actually play part of a Rush song in order to open up the last lock. And they didn't use that at all, which, I'm not a big Rush fan, so I wasn't all that that perturbed by it, to tell you the truth. But I think it would have been nice to actually have used that because it wasn't just finding the keys in the book. It was also finding the locks as well. You had to, it wasn't, you weren't just finding the keys and you automatically opened the lock. No, you had to find the lock as well. So it was, it wasn't just something like, oh, you just find 3 keys and everything's yours. No, this takes place over like a period of a year of them kind of slogging through this, finding keys, finding locks. getting hunted down, all this kind of stuff. And that was what was kind of different about it. They sped it up a bit and also kind of Disney-fied it because they didn't want they didn't want to I think they had to do it for Disney, one, and then also in order to get the rights for other things to bring it down to the PG-13 level. Like Daito in the book, he actually gets killed by IOI. They come into his apartment and basically throw him out the window of his apartment building in real life. And they don't know about this until Shoto comes in and tells them, hey, this is what happened to him. And the stakes become real at that point for them, where they're like, holy shit, we need to do this. Well, beyond the point of, the stacks getting blown up in Parsival and his aunt getting, actually, there's a couple hundred people that die in that. They don't really portray that either, because the stack falling down actually takes out other stacks.
Mm.
And Sorrento makes it look like a meth lab explosion. That's what he covers it with.
That's funny. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I'll share some of my juice on this show, because I'm gonna save the rest for when I do Film Zen next week with Brooks. But we got to be careful when it comes to book versus movie. We got to be very careful.
Oh yeah.
And I purposely did not read once I found like Garrett, like you were saying, once I found out that they were making this to a movie, I'm like, oh, because they got so much hype. Book wise, they got so much hype. I'm gonna wait back. And then when I kept hearing that, oh, there's a lot of 80s nostalgia, I'm like, I'm really gonna wait, because I want to go in as a movie experience. You know what I mean? That's how I wanted to be exposed to this. But once I found out that Spielberg was doing it, coming back to you, Gary, is that I was thrilled, because I thought this was kind of like a match made in heaven. Because Spielberg obviously he's not just an 80s nostalgia. I mean, he's part of the 80s nostalgia. You know what I mean? That was in there. So I thought it was actually perfect material for him per se. And yes, I totally understand why, marketing wise, why they would water it down, from a gritty R rating to a PG-13 to catch a broader range, to make more money. But for me, it worked. It worked as, walking in, not knowing a clue about the plot, walking in, enjoying it as a movie. Now I can hardly wait to watch it, now I can hardly wait to read it as a book now. So I'm totally pumped for it. I'm going to give it the same, like I told you guys the last time I was with you about Black Panther. This is just a solid, good movie. It's solid. I mean, I enjoyed it through and through. There was never an eye-rolling part. I liked it. I liked it very much. Saw it twice already. It's because I have Movie Pass. Are we allowed to advertise Movie Pass?
Yeah,
I have it too.
Talk about whatever you want.
I did the exact same thing.
I'm telling you, Movie Pass. Where was this in the 80s? Right? So
I know, really.
Twice, once to take it in, but twice to really, to watch it with my critical eye. And I walked out going, this is a really good movie the second time. Well, I saw it with my daughter the second time around, but I enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. And again, I'm going to save the rest of the book versus movie thing for Film Zen. You got to be careful. It's got to.
Well, there's my alarm for my eBay bid, by the way. Books are always better than the movies.
Yes,
and I agree with you.
The golden rule.
I want to see. I'm glad I saw this first, and I'll probably enjoy the book that much more. But hang on, guys. Doing some eBay live on the podcast here.
Well, I'm just gonna say, with the book, I actually read the book when it came out.
Right.
I had the digital I got a deal on it. I think I got it for 99 cents, something like that. Yeah. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll watch. I'll read it, and I blazed through it in probably like 3 days. And I was like, all right, that actually was pretty good. It wasn't bad. And then I heard it got optioned for a movie, and that Spielberg was doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a big thing then. All right. And so, yeah, I've read it, years ago before it actually became the movie that it became. Let me
ask you something, Dennis. Did you think that, you read the book and then you found out Spielberg is doing it. Did you think it was a perfect match, like a good material for Spielberg, or?
No, I had my hesitations because Spielberg, as of late, and we were talking about this before you came in, this is the first good movie that Spielberg's done in a while. That's Spielberg doing Spielberg. And he's, for me, the last decade or so, he's been kind of just going through the motions. It's very formulaic, his movies. It's not Spielbergian at all, the movies that he's been doing. You could tell exactly where they're going. And he actually, especially like AI and things like that, he had a penchant for taking the last 15 minutes of a movie that he built up and then ruining it with the last 15 minutes.
Yep. I couldn't agree with you anymore with AI. I mean, in fact, Gary, I think we saw it together. I think like a bunch of us saw it together. We're kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Quarters of it. Yeah. 5/6 of it was great. And so like the last, yeah, exactly. That's like the last 10 minutes was like, what? But
yeah, it negates everything that came before. It's like if you just left it where he was alone in the dark, and he found the fairy statue, and that's it. Just go there. It's dark.
If the main character, I forgot, because I only saw it once, and once was enough. So had the kid just been underwater, like buried underwater, I would have been happy with that. That would have been more of a Kubrick ending,
Yeah.
But,
I would have loved to have seen Kubrick direct that. That was but we can okay, again, spoilers for this big time. So if you want to like plug your ears and get out of here now, because like the best scene in the movie is the battle scene to Twisted Sister and going into the freaking Shining, dude. That was man. Okay. So when that establishing scene, when they show the hotel, I went, oh damn, and everybody started laughing in the booth, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. But I was like, holy shit, that's great.
That's like when H goes into the hotel room.
Yeah, 237.
And I started laughing. I'm like, oh no. And everyone else was quiet in the theater. And I was just
but Melissa started laughing, going, I mean, not that room,
Hey, Gen X, baby, Gen X.
Hell yeah.
This is Wonder Woman now, sorry.
It's also X-Force, remember.
There you go.
X-Force, that's right.
But no, I enjoyed it fully, and
I didn't say you gotta.
You did say you gotta remember. I'm gonna rewind the tape right now. You said you gotta remember. Jay, by the way, Dennis says you gotta remember like 8 or 9 times a podcast. It's a cute little thing, and everybody's supposed to take a drink every time he does that.
I see.
There you go. Jay, that includes you, Dennis. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
My Film Zen thing.
Cheers. I'll drink my water. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. No, but Dennis, coming back to Spielberg, I agree with you. I think that Brooks and I started the Great Halls of Zen, where we talk about our video library that we own, either movies that are coming in or movies that we already have that we're talking about. And then you're right. I think the last Spielberg film that I actually own was a Minority Report. And I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie. And you can see where he said he was going to borrow from himself on Minority Report. And you can see it. You can totally see his futuristic, just dystopic, a little bit of grit, added to this. But sounds to me like there wasn't enough you read the book. But
yeah, it's a little bit darker. I mean, because you basically have the collapse of you had the collapse of world society, if you will.
Yeah.
And so with Halliday making this Oasis, and by the way, Viking Bitch, the book isn't scary; it's just darker. That's all it is. And
thanks, Viking Bitch.
So he basically the world economy has collapsed. Everyone's using up the resources. There's overpopulation. There's job stagnation, economic stagnation, because there's no growth going on. Then you have the Oasis come about, and everyone starts living in this virtual world where the economy is actually stable in the Oasis. So virtual currency is what becomes king at that point.
Okay.
And that's why, so it's a little bit darker in that respect. And what Wade ends up doing with everyone goes to school in the Oasis. So you don't go to a physical school. You log into the Oasis to go to class.
Nice.
And you're assigned a certain classroom. And so they didn't touch on that either at all, which, that was kind of the world building a bit. And he kind of made it more of along the lines of what we're living in now, but just having people plugging into VR more than anything else.
Gotcha.
And
they talked. Oh yeah, they only talked about the school when he talked about Ferris Bueller's and then they mentioned Ridgemont High, which was supposed to be a trick. And they didn't really talk about that at all. That's interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to.
now, Gary, or both of you, did the Oasis kind of remind you a little bit of remember Caprica, that spinoff series that was really not so good from Battlestar, but did it kind of remind you of that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if there was any, I don't know.
I don't know how many people. Like
that
five people have seen Caprica. So, and it's not the first time there's been like this big virtual reality world that people escape to. That's been in a bunch of things. So I don't know who was first to that party, but you know, well, I mean, The Matrix, of course, but which was more sinister, but there was stuff before that too. I'm sure Philip K. Dick.
That was more bondage.
Philip K. Dick probably wrote something about it in the 60s, you know, that I'm not aware of right now.
Right.
I'm going to answer Gary Prime's question here. Apple Crow, as we know him. Do you make any jokes? Did they make any jokes about the ET video game? They didn't. So they should have, but considering that Zach Penn, who wrote the script, also wrote the whole documentary about them finding the buried ET video games. Remember, they buried a crap ton of them in a landfill, and they actually found them. They found out where they were buried at. I'm surprised Zach Penn didn't put something in there about that, considering that he wrote the documentary on that one.
Huh.
So fill me in. This is something I know zero about. Fill me in.
So it had done so badly, so poorly, that it was actually more cost effective for Atari to just dump all the video games they had made in a landfill than it was to sell them. So they actually just backed up dump trucks into a landfill, dumped them in, and covered them over. No one knew where. And so they just found this, I would say, like about 3 or 4 years ago. And so Zach Penn had worked on this documentary about them uncovering the landfill for those video games.
And they dug through a landfill to get them?
Yeah, they opened it up to find out. You got to remember those.
Pretty awesome, man.
You got to remember. There we go. Drink again. There you go. It took place, that was back in the 80s, and the landfill closed in the 90s. So it was another 20 years. So most of the stuff had decomposed by then.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, okay. Side note, you San Diegans, you know Fiesta Island, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it still smells. That's a landfill that's been covered up for 40 years. And it still smells horrible. And people go out and have fires out there, which is hilarious.
Well, yeah, you know Shoreline Amphitheater out in Mountain View?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a landfill too.
And they have methane gas shoot up in the park area.
They have giant vents. I know. All around the venue, you know, pumping out the methane gas, and there's people like smoking dope out there, which is hilarious. I'm definitely gonna see that documentary though. The nostalgia moments. It wasn't. It's a whole movie about it. But I still don't feel it was overdone. My favorite little moment in the movie, because I saw it with my wife and my youngest son Logan. They right when they're talking about going to the hotel for The Shining, and they're talking about his only date and what would be a good date movie, and they threw out some movies and they said Say Anything. And me and Melissa like looked at each other and we're like, oh my god, because that was kind of our first date movie aside from Rock. That was our first, like, that was the first time I bought her a ticket to because usually she was buying stuff because I didn't have no money. Come on, man. Right. Too busy getting high. But we went and saw Say Anything. We were just like, oh man, that was cool. But yeah, The Shining. The Shining.
No, it was definitely a love letter to the 80s. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And just like you're saying, I mean, I'll just ride what you said. I mean, yeah, it wasn't overly done. You know, there were a lot of Easter eggs, and even watching the second time, there was still some. It was more like background stuff that I was kind of laughing. In fact, there was times where Millie's like, what? I'm like, I'll tell you later. You know, I'm just giggling. You know, I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see this again on my big 4K TV and just look for because I was looking for all the superheroes. That's the first thing. You know, I saw Batgirl. We saw Harley Quinn and Joker a couple times. There was Batman climbing the mountain, but apparently he's like in it in other places too. Yeah. And it looked like, was that Injustice? Batgirl?
Yeah. I think so.
That was
cool. RoboCop was in it briefly.
Yep. I missed RoboCop. The Chucky scene was the shit. That was so funny.
It's fucking Chucky. Get rid of it.
It's just nice to see Spielberg back. You know, it is.
I have to say my favorite scene is the IOI guys going into the Shining room and everyone's screaming and running.
Yeah.
As they're
That
getting
was
stabbed
good.
and ripped apart. And I mean, that just made me laugh because just watching these people like in the real world with their visors on, just screaming, blood curdling screams. You see them running all over the place
That was
like
hilarious.
crazy. That just made me laugh.
Real quick, I just want to respond to David Hill. I liked Caprica too. I thought it was really good. I know a lot of people don't think that, but I thought it rocked. I agree with you, sir.
And I want to go back and talk to somebody said, I think it was Apple Crow, Gary Prime there, who said he played ET. And I did too. I played it on the Atari. I played it all the way through, as a matter of fact. I was one of those unlucky people that bought it as well, or actually had it bought for me. So
what was so crappy about the game?
Oh, dude, it was horrible. It was just like it made no sense whatsoever. You just had to go through, and the graphics were bad. Think of Adventure, like that game Adventure that we were watching them play at the end there.
Yeah.
Same kind of graphics, only with ET done as a block, and you'd walk him around and you pick up like a stone or something like that, or Reese's Pieces, and you had to go back through and then drop it off at a certain location, and it was just really bad. I mean, just a horrible game.
So not everybody's a Rush fan. I liked Rush. I like Rush. I like their early stuff. Their late stuff is, but I'm used to be a musician, big Neil Peart fan. So that's why I liked Rush.
You're a punk rocker, Gary.
But I was, but I liked Rush. I like my prog rock too, but it really would have fit for the aesthetic they were going for with, I'm forgetting the creator's name, but Halliday was an early 80s guy. So, and I mean, every single one of those early 80s gamers loved Rush. That was a thing. So I'm wondering if they couldn't get the music rights, and it was probably a Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to bash on Warner.
It's a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah. I just for Jay, I'm going to warn anybody out there who's a YouTuber who even talks about Warner Brothers. If you like, for example, our Krypton videos have been demonetized for 5 days, and it's because of my thumbnail, because it's a Warner Brothers property, and they mass copyright flag everything. Now they can't copyright, that's fair use. So what they do is they put it in a limbo for us. I don't really care. It's no big deal. But Jay put up a video, and it had a couple of seconds, and there's a way to break the algorithm, Jay, which we can talk about back channel. When you put up video on YouTube, you will never know. And poor Jay, like his video, which I wanted to see, which was about Empire of the Sun, got blocked by Warner Brothers. And it was funny because we're
praising the movie, for God's sakes.
I know, right? And that's what Comic Book Cast 2 put a post up, like right after you posted that he had got copyright flagged 30 times in like 5 minutes. So somebody from Warner Brothers had gone through, and it's like, Warner Brothers, stop doing that stuff. Okay. You're trying to fight Disney right now, and Disney does not do that. Disney would like, let you talk about their stuff. And right now we're praising one of your movies. We were praising your TV show. You were praising an older movie that maybe people would be interested in and go see. By the way, subscribe to Film Zen. It's on YouTube. It's a new channel from my friends Jay and Brooks, and it's very good. And yeah, stop doing that. Because like we can just not talk about your stuff. I'd rather not talk about your stuff. But come on.
So, hey, I was going to tell you, Gary, since you're a musician, you like Rush. So at Parsifal in the book, he has to play the third movement of the title track from their album
2112.
Yeah, 2112. Discovery. He had to play that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like play it on what? On either bass or drums? Or...
It was on I think it was on the guitar, if I remember correctly.
Okay, and that's he's Alex Lifeson's the least talented musician in the band, and he's still better than 99.9% of humanity on guitar. But he is so overshadowed on how like Neil Peart is the second greatest drummer of all time, and Geddy Lee is one of the better bass players ever. So that would be cool. Now I want to read the book.
Yeah, so like I said, the book was actually a little more involved, and I understood. I mean, for time, it didn't feel like a 2.5 hour movie. It was a 2 hour and 18-minute long movie. What was going on?
It was. Viking bitch said Warner Brothers needs to claim their tits.
Thank you.
Calm their tits. Yes.
My God.
Calm their tits. Sorry.
Hey,
I'd
lighten up,
claim.
guys, will ya?
I'd like to claim.
Warner Brothers,
I
lighten up,
don't
will
like
ya?
to claim tits. It's not my place to claim tits. Buddy Rich, yes, David Hale, you called it. That is the greatest drummer of all time. Buddy Rich's walls were covered with ding marks because he would just walk around his house going all over his house. He was playing all the time.
So the other thing that has become big news here, the Gundam. Remember the Gundam that comes out that Taiko?
I was say that was my favorite part.
Yeah, so that's a lot of people's favorite part because this also, people are saying, okay, they think this might be a test footage for a live action Gundam movie because everyone's been talking about doing Gundam for the longest time. And this is the second Zach Penn script in a row because he did also Pacific Rim Uprising where they mention Gundams. And having a live action Gundam fighting the Mecha Godzilla was a big thing. That was
the shit.
Yeah. And originally in the book, it was Ultraman. It was actually Parzival as Ultraman fighting Mecha Godzilla.
That's awesome.
Which that's my favorite character is Ultraman, and I
you lost Ultraman. That's so. I
go way back. Mine's Voltron.
Well, and they were on Battle World, right? So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how they pitched everybody to get their properties in there. They're like, listen, if anything, we're paying for this, and this is test footage. This is test footage for a Gundam. I guarantee you that's how they spun it to get the rights to some of these characters, and this is technically video game properties have had a very hard time crossing over in a film, but in a very broad way, there have been 2 video game movies that have done very well. Well, game movies, we'll say, not video game, game movies. Jumanji, which was a very good movie and in spirit, a lot like Ready Player One. Not as serious, and Ready Player One.
Fun. They're fun movies.
They're fun movies, and Hollywood has seemed to, or at least the makers of these 2 movies have like found fun. And I understand. Well, I'm glad they made it PG-13 so I could take Logan. And I was talking to you about this, Dennis, in our very long pre-production meeting. Logan sometimes has a hard time, connecting to stuff. Like, I'll take him to a movie, and if it's not really good, he'll start spacing out and doing his own thing. He was so into this movie, like when they had the key part and they were trying to put the key in the hole, he was like, just put the key in. He was like yelling in the theater. It was awesome. It was how like locked in he was in. So that was cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, Detroit Rebel says, remember Giant Robot and Johnny Sacco? Yeah, that was awesome, dude. That is cool stuff.
Battleship was the finest movie of our time, Gary. It changed my life. It was an important film.
That wasn't a video game movie, Gary Prime. That was a board game movie.
Well, he's saying game movie, so I said the broader sense. Yes.
Wow, I love the sarcasm on the show.
Okay. By the way, in that movie, which I've never seen, by the way, did they say you sunk my battleship?
They did. Yes.
Oh
they did.
God. Damn.
Man. Forever changed.
Freaking Hollywood. Like every time Hollywood takes one step forward, they take 50 steps back.
Dude, that is so true. Oh my God.
It had Rihanna in it. Come on.
Gary,
what else do you
better
want?
copyright that line. Copyright it because you can make $1 million off of it. You
Dude.
should sell bumper stickers and T-shirts saying that.
I'm glad Rihanna is. Thank you, by the way, Jay. She's showing up. I saw the Ocean's 8 trailer.
Oh, no. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I was not impressed.
Okay, so Ocean's 11, the remake. Actually, both movies are.
Let's give it a try. Why not?
Sure, but some of my favorite films of all time. But I thought Soderbergh was going to direct this one, but he's not. I would have been in if he was directing it. I would be there.
Yeah, if Soderbergh was directing it, like he did. Yeah, like he just did this recent movie with Daniel Craig, which I'm blanking on at the moment.
The one on the iPhone that he shot all on the iPhone?
I believe so. It's the one with Channing Tatum as well. In it where Daniel Craig's got his hair dyed blonde, and I'm just blanking on it.
IMDb it. Hurry, IMDb.
Yeah, I know.
Doom Turkey 83 said Battleship is awesome. And listen, we are the last people to judge anybody for liking a bad movie. We don't judge. There's a movie for everybody. So yeah, that's totally cool. I like.
Oh
some
no, yeah,
shite.
I mean, that's.
I watched it.
On my show. We have a thing called the dark side of Zen, where we admit our guilty pleasures. You know, and it's like, hey, mine Starship Troopers, dude. I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? I know it's bad.
I love Starship Troopers.
But
I love it.
I know it's bad acting, and but I don't care. It tickles me fancy, dude.
Logan Lucky. There we go. Oh God, I got that.
There's a pretty big cast in it. Adam Driver was in it, and
there's a lot. It's pretty humorous. It's on Amazon Prime now if you guys are interested in it. Yes, thank you, Raymond Virata. Logan Lucky, and it has that line in there that I was telling you about, Gary, where there's a prison riot and they're rioting because of the Game of Thrones book that hasn't come out yet, Fire and Ice, and Dwight Yoakam is the warden. And he's like, it hasn't come out yet. He hasn't written it. And I'm like, bullshit. The TV show keeps going on. It's like the TV show is different from the books. They've deviated, and the prisoners aren't not buying it at all. They're like, come on, that's bullshit. It's really funny. So that
wasn't what was the Steven Soderbergh? Is it called Unsane? It wasn't Logan Lucky. He just did a movie on an iPhone just to prove it could be done.
Yeah, I think it was Unsane, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. It's not that important right now. That is so damn funny. And not entire. I can't really go into this, but not entirely untrue for reasons there are prison riots. And I'll just leave it laying out there, right there. Yeah, that's funny, man.
In Detroit Rebel, I have to say I loved that they actually had the Kroll blade in this as well.
Yeah, the glaive. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the glaive came out. As soon as I'm like, he's got the glaive. I'm like, holy shit, he's got the glaive.
Even my daughter was excited. She's like, look, Daddy, look.
The holy hand grenade.
That movie did trip her out, but she, oh well.
Yeah, how did she like it? How old is she again?
She's 9.
She's 9. How did she react to it?
Melody, come here. She's right here.
Oh, whoa. What's up?
Here, sweets. We have a special guest, my daughter.
Special guest, little Melody.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
So how'd you like Ready Player One?
It was exhilarating for me.
Exhilarating.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Better, yeah. That's bigger words than all three of us put together.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I have to look that one up, by the way.
He does. I was going to say you're going to confuse Gary on this one. He's like, what to think of it.
What else? What else did you like?
It had funny moments. It had weird moments. It had I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It's just.
Well, there was a lot of 80s stuff, right? That I'm introducing you to. So you got all the references. Remember the Dark Crystal stuff and some Never Ending Story stuff and Krull stuff. Remember the glaive and just cool stuff. A
lot of stuff coming at you. I know that's, but it was probably I can't imagine watching a movie like that at 9. I'd probably have a seizure. So good that she made it through it. That's good.
Hey, I just exposed her to Footloose just a couple nights ago.
Dancing's not a crime.
It is if you do it the way Gary does.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. I'm not going to deny
Gary, it launched the career of Kevin Bacon, who we love and admire. So hey.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, how many times did we play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon back in the 90s?
Oh, I know, right?
Well, Animal House, I thought, launched his career. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
By the way, we just had our best, most talented person on our podcast. She just left.
We did.
She's adorable.
Yeah.
Good job, Jay. Papa Jay.
Girl. My little world. I'll have to get her a movie pass too,
Yeah, you do. You cheap bastard. Come on.
Yeah, really?
Well, I was wondering what the catch was with this thing. So I mean that's what I was more testing the waters. You know what I mean? It wasn't being cheap. I'm like, okay, I pay $10 a month, and I get to watch a movie a day. I'm enjoying life right now, man. I
look at it this way. My movie my ticket cost $11.50.
Right.
And I only paid $9.50 a month.
Right.
For the movie pass. So that one movie already paid for itself.
Yep. And for those of you out there who are going, oh, but they track you, that it's like, well, I mean, if you're wanted by the FBI or if you're a drug dealer, then yeah, don't get Movie Pass because they track you.
And then also don't have
Which
a phone.
they don't, by the way, because that's
don't use the
illegal
internet
for them to track you.
That's not going to stop them.
I know.
Didn't Facebook just get busted for like
Tracking?
or for selling our information? But I mean, you know,
something like that.
We knew what we were getting into with that, so
absolutely. You know what? Whatever. If I get more ads on my phone, who cares? I'll still pay my $10 a month.
That's right. Raymond Verada says the spell to activate the orb, Osavox, is Merlin's charm from
the making of Excalibur. Yeah,
charm of making an Excalibur. Yeah, that was so freaking cool. And I knew I heard that somewhere, and I actually had to go to a video later to figure out.
It's funny because I mean, come on, guys, let's admit we're in our 40s now, so there's only maybe like a handful of us who are laughing in the theater. Like everybody else. Like, everyone's like looking around, going, "Why are these guys laughing?" I'm like, "It's Excalibur. That's why." Oh, never mind.
Still one of my favorite all-time fantasy movies ever. John Boorman,
it's
the man.
It's incredible. It's incredible what they did back then.
The book is filled with all those kind of references. So yeah, I mean, at one point, in order,
someone gonna read it.
No, I'm just gonna say, instead of The Shining that they did in the book, he actually has to play Matthew Broderick in War Games.
Oh wow!
Oh, that would have been cool too.
No more. Shit.
That's all I'm saying. No, that's only like a tiny. That's like 0.5% of what's in that book.
Oh wow! Okay, no more.
Yeah.
Agree. Ray Rain.
When I leave this cast, I'm gonna read it.
There you go. Ray Rain says, okay, I love this. Ray Rain said, a great cast in Excalibur. Captain Picard was in it after all. Yes, and that was one of the greatest moments of overacting in film history. Was Patrick Stewart trying to pull the sword out of the stone? Go back and watch that. Yeah.
Isn't Liam Neeson in that as well?
Yes, Liam Neeson is everybody's in that damn movie.
Yeah, everyone's in that movie.
White and British, you were in that movie.
Gabriel Byrne. Oh yeah. When he had a really thick Irish accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love that movie, man. Love it.
Oh, that's goddamn. So yeah, I mean, this totally deserves a rewatch just to catch all the other stuff. But the most important thing to me was this could have been just an Easter egg fest, and that would have been enough for actually a lot of people. But I actually thought the characters were good too. They were I loved H. H was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I bought it. There wasn't as many twists as I thought there were. They're probably more in the book, and that's fine. And yeah, they did. You could tell they lightened some stuff up. But again, I was okay with that. And again, I'm not a gamer, so I didn't know half the shit I was seeing at all. And I still enjoyed it. So
yeah, I mean, this movie was a really good excuse to go full CGI. You know what I mean? And have like this CGI virtual world because that's the world that they're giving you, that you are in this virtual reality world. And I thought they did a fantastic job. I'm not really one for those. What was the Polar Express, and I mean I love Beowulf. I love Beowulf. But I mean I'm just not into those live action cartoon movies but this that's what you're in. I mean when you put the glasses on, you're in that this animated world. So it worked. It totally worked.
That's cool. Who saw it in 3D? I did not see it in 3D.
I did not see it in 3D, and I'm glad I didn't because there's too much going on that it's not going to play out well in 3D. I'm just going to say that flat out. There's too much action.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think my mom and dad were just talking about 3D, and they're kind of going like 3D. Even they're like no 3D is not what it used to be, and they almost took the words right out of my mouth. It's like remember guys in 3D. Remember Jaws 3D when the actual we're coming at you. Now 3D looks more like an aquarium. 3D is more like depth.
Yeah,
you're looking in. Yeah, it's like you're looking into an aquarium instead of the aquarium coming at you. You're looking deep into it. So yeah, to see this in 3D,
Yeah, I want to ask this out there for people who have good vision. So my vision sucks, so I have to wear 3D glasses over my glasses. And in about 15 minutes into every 3D movie, I forget I'm watching 3D. It just looks 2D to me. So I don't know if anybody else experiences that, or maybe you just get used to it. But that's always been my experience. The only movie that did a pretty good job, but the story sucked, was Avatar. So that was good 3D.
Actually, Sam Raimi's The Great and Powerful Oz, he went back to school to literally learn how to do 3D, and he every shot of that movie he made specifically for the 3D medium. So if you go back and watch it, that's specifically why I watch it in 3D. It's a beautiful movie in 3D. It's got a shitty story. I have to admit, it wasn't the greatest story, but it's beautiful in 3D. He's got all the, you get the foreground, the background, the midground, all that stuff. He has it mapped out as to where everything is going.
Another great movie. I have not seen that movie. Another great movie in 3D, but terrible movie is Amazing Spider-Man 2. James Cameron was on the set with Mark Webb, because it came out right after Avatar, and Cameron wanted to work on some of the tech, so they let him test it through Amazing Spider-Man 2. So that fight scene at the end where he's fighting Electro and stuff is really good 3D. But it's, bad movie. Bad movie.
God, that's a whole cast. That's a whole podcast themselves, you guys. We can
someday,
but
Ray Rains says
let's avoid this. Let's escape while we can, because we could spend the next 2 hours totally dissing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3.
Right.
I you know what, and I can't believe there's backlash on Homecoming. I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, but Brooks hated it.
No, I didn't like it either.
I had fun with it.
Okay.
I liked it.
I thought it was decent.
Oh, you see, you liked it now?
I didn't say I didn't.
You got to go back and watch our review. Well, yeah, you didn't. I guess you were kind of mild on it. I liked Michael Keaton in it. I thought he was good, but I thought Spider-Man was a big crybaby in it. So I had a big problem with that. He was the whole crying thing was a bit too much for me. And there wasn't a lot of action in it. It was, it had its moments. It definitely, I'm glad Disney got involved, because it would have been a complete shit show if it was just a Sony thing. And I loved him. I loved Tom Holland in Civil War. I thought he was the best part in it. So I don't know. I didn't love Homecoming. I didn't. Ray Rain says, I watched it in 3D because of the Oasis. But yeah, Gary, this one felt like 2D. So yeah, I don't know how they shot it. And God, there's no excuse for that, because you're doing everything.
No excuse.
Yeah, no. That should be brilliant. Ray Rain says How to Train Your Dragon was fantastic in 3D. I love that movie.
That's a fun movie, man. Melly loves it. Yeah.
I've watched that movie hundreds of times, because that's one of the ones I worked on at Technicolor, and it didn't get old for me. Silver Spike 1 says, I really like Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland is a breath of fresh air for me. He is a good Spider-Man. He is.
He is.
And I did like Keaton's Vulture. Upon further viewings, because I kind of liked it the first time, and I saw it.
I wonder if you guys, Dennis. I wonder if you guys are going to agree with me, or not. You don't have to agree with me. Just ride the wave that I'm giving you right now. But my conspiracy theory with this is that I think Marvel Disney really didn't go for it on purpose because of Sony. I think they said, "Here you go," and they and I think they said, "Okay, don't do that, but do this." And it might have been. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we don't know. We weren't there. But
we talked about that too. I know Gary and I had talked about that. Yeah, that they might have tried to sabotage it a little bit just to kind of get the rights back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, it seemed like they didn't want to put themselves out there and do too much with it.
Exactly.
Well, they couldn't.
Yeah,
they couldn't. They don't have any control over it. So they were offering suggestions, and the person in charge of Spider-Man, I always forget her name, was the one who put out Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, wasn't she fired?
She was fired, but before she got fired, she put herself in charge, her production company, in charge of the Spider-Man rights. So she just backdoored herself into being a co-CEO, by the way, and that was a really smart business move. You could see what they're doing with Venom and all this garbage they're putting out. Like, we don't want Sony in charge. So I think it was good despite themselves,
But But
Amy
did you
Pascal,
see-
thank you.
Did you see the trailer for the Spider-Man animations that's going to come out
Oh,
on
yeah.
Christmas?
That looks great.
That looks cool.
Well, you know who's
So-
doing that, right?
Who?
It's not the Russo brothers. It's the
Oh.
other guys that have gotten kicked off of Han Solo.
Oh, Lord and Miller.
That's right.
Lord and Miller,
Lord and
yes.
Miller, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what they were working on. When they got kicked off of the Han Solo project,
Yeah.
they got put onto this, and they're like,
Okay.
"Okay, sure, we'll do this."
Maybe Han Solo just wasn't for them.
No,
Lord and Miller
We're gonna
are
find out in May.
Lord and Miller are tailor-made for comic books. Their style of filming and stuff for not every comic book. Like I wouldn't put them on Batman, but like Flash, I'd put them on Flash. Get a different Flash than Ezra Miller, but
bring in Grant Gustin.
yeah, just bring in Grant Gustin and have Lord
You know
Miller
what?
do a Flash movie. That'd be awesome.
Melody, my daughter said that. She said that's the one thing that bothered her about Justice League is that they're like, why did they just use the guy on TV? I'm like, exactly. Wow. Now, if you hear a 9-year-old say that, no wonder Warner Bros. Blocking everything.
Yeah, that's that.
You know what? I mean, they kick ass when it comes to TV. They suck when it comes to movies. You know.
And it's the same thing for Marvel. Marvel's great at movies, but they suck at TV.
Suck at TV. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
If it's not on Netflix, and even half of their Netflix stuff has kind of gone down in quality.
Yeah, it has.
But,
But it's still fun.
It is. Krypton's great, really good.
I love Daredevil. I don't know why a lot of people go, hey, it's too slow. Well,
What? You know
yeah.
what?
But it's so good.
If Daredevil's too slow for you, then I got nothing to say for that. We're just gonna differ on opinion, and that's cool.
Yeah, you're right. Continue with your Michael Bay movies. We're fine.
Silver Spike says a friend of mine is currently working. Silver Spike's worked on a lot of stuff, by the way. Doctor Who and connected person. So a friend of mine is currently working on Spider-Man 2. Only found out the other day. Cool. I've heard some very good things about this movie. Like they're going to be doing World War II flashbacks, and the guest superhero is probably going to be Cap in some way. So
Nice.
that's really cool.
More Cap is
Listen,
good.
my son Logan, biggest Spider-Man fan aside from his pops, and he was really bothered by Tony Stark giving him all the tech. That bugged him to no end. And this is not,
Really?
I've not like put my puritanism of Spider-Man on him. I mean, I've got my own. That's cool, but yeah, he was like, oh my God, Spider-Man supervised. I hate that. You know, it's good to I think it's good that Marvel turned it that way, and it actually kind of fits because this is the Ultimate Universe. Marvel is adapting more of the Ultimate Universe. So that didn't bother me as much as it bothered Logan, which is funny. But yeah.
No, I mean, it's funny because I was just talking about this with Melody just the other day when we were talking about Ready Player One. I just told her that there's just some things that look better in the book, comic books or novels but they just don't translate on the movie, on the silver screen. So in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it makes sense that Tony Stark, gives him all the tech cinematically wise. Now, comic wise, it wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Like Kirby Crackle. The reason why we didn't get Kirby Crackle until Thor Ragnarok. It took them a while to figure out how to do that. And
absolutely.
Which it turned out awesome. I mean,
oh my God, it did. And then we're gonna get more in Infinity War.
Just one wild ride of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It could have been more serious. It actually could have been depressing if you think about it. The guy lost almost everything, but it was funny.
my favorite scene still in that movie is when they're introducing him to the world of Sakaar, and he's in the chair, and they're playing the Willy Wonka song,
right
in the background instrumentally, and because everyone just you see everyone in the theater kind of cock their head a little bit because they saw it in the theater, and everyone's like, I know this song. Where do I know this song from? And you can see everyone it's kind of going through their head as they're doing it.
It's the chocolate boat ride. Yes.
It's really funny.
I mean, this isn't Kirby. It's actually Sal Buscema, but Kirby Crackle, if you want to know what we're talking about.
There we go.
This thing's awesome, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Marvel, I mean, I haven't heard anything since. I heard that Marvel was going to require the Fantastic Four. What happened?
Oh my God, I bit so hard on a fucking April Fool's video last night because it came out. It came out a day before, So I was like, well, it's the 31st, so this couldn't, and it was totally believable.
Yeah.
And they said that the buyout was dead. And it started out like pointing out facts, and, and I'm like, and what they did was they used old articles, kind of clickbait articles, but it looked fucking real. And then like I started like I'm watching a video and I text Dennis like, holy shit, like we need to do a video on this. And then I'm like, wait a fucking minute. And I looked up and I'm like, oh, fuck. So it must be April 1st because the guy does the videos in Europe, and I'm like,
yeah.
Motherfucker. God damn it. I'm like, never mind. I just bid on that shit. Totally got myself. I remember
it's funny because I mean, yeah.
Oh no, at the comic store, a Toy Fair used to always do April 1st, or used to do April Fools, and the Alex Ross Wonder Twins. I had people ordering that for a year. And I'm like, it was April Fools.
Well, you know what? I didn't even check. Think Geek always has some really good stuff, and I always forget about that too. That they do, comic book related as well. So they do all kinds of, and they end up actually making the stuff. That's the thing that actually makes me laugh about it. Is they pick one, they make it.
I'm holding out for a movie on outdoor Spider-Man heroes. Redneck Spider-Man.
Redneck Spider-Man.
Fly fishing Spider-Man.
Reverend.
Oh, they need to have gun collecting Spider-Man.
Wow.
I was going to go someplace dark with it. I'm like, nope, not going to do it. Yeah, I'm done.
Form of water. Form of a bucket. I know, right? So like you can turn into anything. You turn into a bucket of water. Okay, maybe you shouldn't have your powers.
I loved what was the old Harvey Birdman attorney at law. When they were doing that, they were asking Zan and Janix. They were both on the witness stand, and they asked Zan. They're like, "What were you doing last Friday night?" I was busy, and they flash back, and he was Wonder Woman's bathwater. And you see his mouth go form of a wash rag.
Oh my god! Remember the one they were defending Scooby and Shaggy?
Yeah. All the pot references.
All the pot references. Yeah, that was god damn. I missed that show. That was a good show.
That was awesome.
That was pretty funny. I've seen a couple episodes.
Billy Bob Parker and Spider Jim. Yeah, that's it.
And of course, my favorite Harvey Birdman was Apache Chief, when he got the coffee spilled in his crotch and was no longer able to grow large. That's my favorite one.
God damn, I got to go back and watch those. That is so damn funny. Oh my god. So do we all recommend Ready Player One?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do some pretentious rating here. Pretentious out of 10. Score it.
Who goes on first?
I don't know. Third base.
Who?
I'm gonna say it is a bargain matinee price movie. There we go. That's my rating.
Okay, Jay.
I would say go see it. For Spielberg fans or fans of video games or fans of movie nostalgia, I mean, this will be a movie that you would want to see, and you'll probably own it one day. Not everybody, but a majority.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it in 4K. I look really forward to seeing it. Stuff like Thor Ragnarok in 4K was so beautiful, and same with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Those are just pretty movies.
I projected, dude. I got a projector at home. My living room is like a mini theater, so yeah, I get the movie experience.
I love watching stuff at home. So I would say really good, but always try to see a movie on a bargain matinee. Do not play full price. That stuff's expensive. And make sure
or get a movie pass.
And go get your candy at like I don't know if you got a Walgreens, but you always get the 4 for $4 deal. Yeah, don't buy the candy at the movie theater, man. That stuff's expensive.
Well, let me ask you this: would you own it one day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably own it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Would 4K. You own Warhorse?
No.
What is Warhorse?
It was the last movie.
I know what that is. Oh yeah. No.
Would you own The Post?
No.
Would you own? Let's see. What else? What else has he done?
I can't think of the last movie I would own from him.
What was that spy movie they did last year? It got some critical acclaim. I didn't.
The Bridge or something like that, or I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember. But Dennis said it perfectly. I mean, the man has produced movies in the last decade that, yes, they're good movies, but would you own them? And no, the last movie that I actually ran out and bought was Minority Report. And I know. That's just me. BFG maybe because Melody. I do want to get the BFG.
Oh, that's right. He did that. I lost track of him. That's how how much he was.
Bridge of Spies.
2 movies a year.
Bridge of Spies.
Bridge of Spies. Yeah.
Ray Rain reminded us.
I liked Catch Me If You Can. I thought that was good.
Viewers, tell us, are these good movies?
Saving Private Ryan was the last one I bought from him, and we saw that together. We saw that when the theater opened, and remember there was war veterans there because they brought in war veterans. They were all like bawling at the end of it. Yeah. That was.
Hey man, that's how movies are supposed to be. They're supposed to be impactful. I mean, not each and every time, but there are certain movies that should be. And you're right. When Saving Private Ryan, when we walked out, remember Gary? When we walked out, it was dead quiet because the movie was so good.
Yeah,
we didn't know what to say. We were like.
Dude, it was so freaking good. Yeah.
Oh man. Come on, man.
That's Vin Diesel's.
Each and every time there's a lump in my throat. Earn this. It's like, oh my god.
That's Vin Diesel's adult introduction into movies.
It was, yeah. Well, at least on the main, yeah.
Because he actually was a film. School student, if I remember correctly, and Spielberg somehow or another got wind of him and threw him in the movie. Yeah, because remember he was in the movies as a kid.
Yes,
in the Garbage Pails Kids movie, he was the bully.
Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, you're right. He went to film school. I think he even he was even coming out to be a director at one point. But then
exactly.
The limelight got onto him, and I mean for good reasons. I mean, he's like your macho guy, like him or not. I mean, he is likable on the screen. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion, but it doesn't mean I run out. I don't run out and see Fast and the Furious, but the man does have screen presence. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
You think he's sexy? It's okay. We don't judge here.
I do. Every time I hear "I am Groot," I lose it.
Yes. Gary Prime says, I remember, God, I cannot get you saying that. I remember seeing Saving Private Ryan because people got, seeing Saving Private Ryan because people got up and left when it switched back to the veteran. Really? They did? Where did you see it? I thought our crowd was out here.
Huh?
That's weird. Yeah. By the way, the crowd erupted after the movie ended in San Francisco, and that is hard to do.
Ready Player One?
Yeah. They got erupted in applause, and I was shocked because these people don't clap for shit up here. San Franciscans are way too cool for blockbusters. All right.
I've seen cool movies up there with you. Yeah.
You saw it in Texas.
If I applause, I'll spill my Chardonnay.
Gary Prime said he saw it in Texas.
Well, they're like, the shooting's done. Time to go. No, just kidding.
Doesn't Texas have a whorehouse in it?
It's little, but it's the best.
Another 80s reference.
Yeah.
Where was that in Ready Player One?
Yeah,
Where was it in there?
That movie would be problematic right now. Okay.
Yeah. I did like how they portrayed his room at the end, even though it was a little bit large.
Oh yeah, it looked like my room.
But yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, looked like a room that we all had at one point. You know what I mean? I mean, God, it was awesome. Yeah.
The one thing that kind of struck me, and I forgot to mention this, was Simon Pegg. In there as Morrow. Yeah. Ogden Morrow. Ogden Morrow actually plays a bigger role in the book, helping them out. And it was kind of weird that they got somebody with such a big name and then only put him in little bits and pieces here and there. It was just very odd.
And again, I did not read the book, but Brooks did. And there was one thing that he said about the book. He said it was predictable. So maybe, I don't know, I'm just taking a guess here. I mean, would you agree? Maybe that's the reason why they did that, to answer your question, to take the predictability out of it. Because I kind of like the way how it in the movie. I like the way how oh, it was you that helped them. You know what I mean? It was more revealing at the end that it was him helping them out.
Well, that's actually still in the book. That whole, the quarter thing and all that. That
okay.
reveal that they actually kept in. So they could have still done that, but still had him have a little bit of a bigger role in there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird.
I thought the movie was paced really well. So they probably just did it for timing. I mean, the movie, you said it was 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It didn't feel like it.
Like it at all.
2 hours and 18, something like that.
I thought the casting was fantastic.
Ray Rain says his American Simon Pegg's American accent was really good. It was. Usually I could pick those out. But, even Tom Holland, who has a pretty decent American accent as Peter Parker, you can tell because they over enunciate. But no, I thought Pegg did a good job. I thought, there was a best little whorehouse joke in Venture Brothers, according to Gary Prime.
All right. Boy,
I believe.
No wonder he's Gary Prime.
There you go. Well, yeah, he's the one who remembers.
He's just on it. Keep it up. Keep it up.
So he said no in the 80s. That's the difference between Gary Prime and Gary. I didn't. I said yes. I'll say no to drugs as soon as they ask me something.
It's too bad Quentin Tarantino's not an 80s man. He's more of a 70s man. I don't know. He just doesn't like the 80s for some reason, but oh well. It's too bad.
Well, that's because all the movies that he, binged on, I guess you could say, when he was working in the video store was all 70s stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I know the catalog of movies that he liked because it's in the same genre that I did, which was the Shaw Brothers, all these the old Hong Kong movies. He loved those. Plus all the blaxploitation movies, all those kind of things. I know exactly what it is because when he does a movie now, I'm like, yeah, you bit that from there, you bit that from over there, you bit that from here. It's like, okay, I got it. Yeah, all right. It's an homage. Yeah, whatever. All right.
The chat's descended into
chaos as usual.
What is the color of Dr. Girlfriend's lipstick, Viking bitch? And then chewing tobacco, spitting Spider-Man, says David Hill. That's funny. Let's wrap this one up. We've gone for about an hour. That's pretty good because we've got another podcast to do.
It didn't even feel like it, guys.
It just flies by, doesn't it?
With my beer yet. That's good.
Well, you better finish. We're going to be doing Counterpart here in a few hours. And oh my God, I can't wait to talk about that. Wow. I
got to watch the rest of it. I've seen most of it, but it was a late night last night. So
damn. That's all I'm going to say is damn. So if you're watching this for the movie review and haven't watched Counterpart, get Stars, Amazon Prime, and watch the best new show on TV, period. JK.
Okay.
You got to watch that show, Jay. It's so freaking good.
Well, that's why I don't cameo here this much because I don't watch that much. I'm just a busy guy. I don't watch that much TV. I mean, when I mean TV, I also mean like even Netflix stuff. I'm a movie guy, and when I'm just on the run, man. I'm on the run.
That's cool. That's cool. Do when you come in when you can. It's all good.
Absolutely. But then our next one would be
probably Infinity War.
Yeah, I know, but that's like a whole month. We got to figure something out. I'll tell you what. Maybe I'll check out. What'd you say, Counterpart? Maybe I'll check that out.
Check it out, dude. Check it out.
You gotta definitely check it out.
Well, you can come on our Friday night. We talk about it back channel, but Friday night we just talk about news and stuff like that. So really shows and stuff.
We talk about
on the news.
We talk about everything.
I read the news today. Oh boy.
we talk about it. Nostalgia too. It's whatever the chat wants to talk about. Right. We're also Viking bitch. Yes, we've got a couple of open Sundays coming up before Westworld, so we're gonna fill that with Venture Brothers.
That I do watch. I'll be on that show.
If you want to be on Westworld,
HBO, they got me.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, that Westworld trailer, that trailer is so damn good. Oh my God, so excited. So, all right. Any final words on Ready Player One, guys?
Go and see it.
Again. Yeah, go see it. Go see it. I'd be very interested. I would be very interested for people who did not like this. I think that'd be a really interesting conversation piece of those who hate it or something. Like, bring it. Let's hear what you got to say.
Thank you, Ray Rain. He said, Fantastic show, guys. Thank you very much. Love to hear that.
Thank you.
Westworld and Legion are coming up. Silver Spike, cannot wait. Oh my God, I've been waiting for both of these shows. I am so excited. So all of our podcasts and videos can be found at nerdrotic.com. Jay, plug your wares.
Earn this. Earn it.
You can find Jay at Film Zen on YouTube. Please subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell and subscribe if you haven't done it already. Dennis, take us out.
People of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you to the patrons, by the way.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't put the picture up this time, but I will. Thank you to the
subscribing,
patrons.
guys. Keep subscribing.
You'll be getting a message soon. Bye-bye.
All right.